Chapter 3777. The Crossing Calamity Boat. In the darkness, Little Python spotted a bright light. After Little Python's observation, Lin Moyu also noticed it amidst the dazzling Great Tao energy. What Little Python saw was a cluster of radiant light, but Lin Moyu saw something entirely different: a massive boat. This boat was peculiar, as only its upper half was visible, while the lower half remained obscured. It moved swiftly through the vacuum zone, speeding away like a meteor.
Half in soul void, half in the real world. What kind of thing is this?
Lin Moyu commanded decisively.
Follow it.
Little Python obeyed without hesitation and chased after the boat. Despite its best efforts, Little Python could barely keep up with the boat's incredible speed. It was impossible to get closer. Upon closer inspection, Lin Moyu confirmed his initial judgment.
It truly is half in soul void and half in the real world.
The boat traversed both realms simultaneously, its upper half sailing through soul void, while its lower half navigated the real world. The real world contained world mist, which Lin Moyu didn't fully understand, but he had some familiarity with soul void's conditions. As the boat sailed through soul void, it followed an erratic path, occasionally making abrupt 90-degree turns, as if avoiding something unseen ahead. Lin Moyu realized that whatever it was dodging wasn't in soul void, it was in the real world. What could exist in the real world that would force such evasive maneuvers? Was it cultivators, or perhaps an entire world? After following for some time, the boat began approaching Radiant Light Great Spirit Domain. Suddenly, Lin Moyu noticed several cultivators ahead of the boat. Through Undead Eye, he saw blazing soul flames. There were 8 Tao Lords positioned strategically, forming a formation to block the boat's path. The formation looked familiar. It resembled what Shi Haifeng and others had used against outsider alliance forces before. Though not particularly powerful, the formation was effective enough to amplify portions of their combat strength. The boat appeared unaware of these Tao Lords and continued flying straight toward them. This confirmed Lin Moyu's suspicion. The boat avoided threats from the real world, but ignored those from Soul Void entirely.
Crossing Calamity Boat has arrived. Deploy the net full power.
One Tao Lord shouted as their collective power erupted, illuminating countless points of light across the void as hundreds of treasures materialized. These treasures wove together into a massive net anchoring firmly within Soul Void. Their method mirrored how Shi Haifeng and others had dealt with great Tao beasts, but this time their strength was far greater. It seemed many outsider alliance formations were derived from humanity's own techniques.
This boat is called Crossing Calamity Boat. I wonder what its purpose is. Judging by these Tao Lords, they don't seem confident about succeeding.
Lin Moyu observed their tense expressions. They were clearly nervous and uncertain about their chances. The 8 Tao Lords gritted their teeth as their aura surged, channeling every ounce of power into their treasures. The Crossing Calamity Boat collided head-on with the net. Without a sound, the net shattered instantly and hundreds of treasures exploded simultaneously, sending all 8 Tao Lords flying with anguished cries. Their souls were severely damaged and they were left gravely injured. Suddenly, the Crossing Calamity Boat emitted a faint glow accompanied by an indescribable melody. Lin Moyu's expression changed drastically and he shouted,
"Retreat!"
But instead of retreating, Little Python accelerated toward the boat at full speed. Its movements exceeded its limits and its eyes appeared vacant. It wasn't flying voluntarily, it was being drawn toward the Crossing Calamity Boat. Lin Moyu struck Little Python on its head, knocking it unconscious, but even then it continued moving toward the boat. Acting quickly, Lin Moyu stored Little Python in his spatial space before turning to flee himself. However, a formless force enveloped him like an invisible hand, dragging him relentlessly toward the Crossing Calamity Boat at increasing speed. Unfolding his rarely used time curse wings, Lin Moyu flapped them with all his might, but to no avail. Summoning Sword Tao Spirit, he commanded,
"Take me away!"
Without hesitation, the spirit transformed into a long sword which Lin Moyu grasped tightly as it propelled him outward at high velocity. Yet, the invisible force pulled back fiercely, straining Lin Moyu's soul to its breaking point as he struggled against it. Meanwhile, The 8 Outsider Alliance Dao Lords who had tried blocking the crossing Calamity boat now floated lifelessly with vacant eyes as they were absorbed into its depths.
This is collateral damage.
Lin Moyu muttered bitterly with a wry smile. These Dao Lords' attempt to stop the boat had provoked its counterattack, and now Lin Moyu, a mere bystander, was caught in its aftermath. As his soul stretched dangerously close to snapping, a sudden surge of power gripped Sword Dao Spirit, dragging it back forcibly. At this point, all hope seemed lost. Even Sword Dao Spirit couldn't escape, which meant Lin Moyu certainly couldn't either. Resigned to his fate, he watched helplessly as he was drawn into the crossing Calamity boat. Yet, in that moment, a strange calm washed over him. His soul hadn't issued any warnings which suggested there might be no danger within the boat. But how could that be possible? Such an entity surely carried risks. Unless his soul's danger perception had failed temporarily. With no other options, Lin Moyu resolved to face whatever awaited him inside. As he approached, the crossing Calamity boat grew larger and an overwhelming aura enveloped him. He sensed faint traces of reality, including wisps of world mist, not chaotic mist from Soul Void, but genuine mist from the real world. The distinction between these mists was clear, and Lin Moyu understood why the lower half of the crossing Calamity boat resided within reality itself. Maintaining composure amidst uncertainty, Lin Moyu prepared himself mentally. Panic would serve no purpose, it would only lead to worse outcomes. Even if dangers lurked aboard, the Great Tao always left room for survival, and staying calm offered his best chance at finding that path. As he neared 10,000 kilometers from the boat, it transformed visually. Its intricate design became more apparent, with ancient grandeur and colossal size, including a palace towering 10,000 meters high atop its deck. The hull bore countless exquisite carvings depicting mythical beasts so lifelike they seemed ready to spring forth roaring. Beneath these carvings lay hidden divine runes which captivated Lin Moyu instantly. These runes differed greatly from those he knew, but he recognized their nature. They were runes embodying profound truths far beyond his current understanding. Compared to them, his own knowledge felt superficial. Finally landing aboard, the pulling force vanished entirely as Lin Moyu stood firmly on deck. Scanning his surroundings, he noticed several Outsider Alliance Dao Lords who had been dragged aboard alongside him. Chapter 3778. What exactly is this thing? The crossing Calamity boat silently disappeared into the distance. In the void, 2 figures gradually emerged, one clad in green robes and the other in white robes. Both watched the boat's departure intently. The green-robed elder remarked,
He went inside.
The white-robed elder replied,
Perhaps this time there will be some results.
The green-robed elder shook his head lightly.
Hard to say, it depends on what that being decides.
The white-robed elder sighed.
Sometimes I wonder, doesn't he fear anything?
The green-robed elder chuckled.
Why do you think he's inside?
The white-robed elder sighed again.
That stubborn temperament.
After exchanging a few words, both figures vanished without leaving any trace. Not even the Fate Great Tao or Time River could detect their presence. Meanwhile, the 8 Tao Lords from the Outsider Alliance stood motionless aboard the crossing Calamity boat. Their empty gazes reflected their loss of consciousness. Suddenly, a light rose from beneath their feet, beginning to heal their soul injuries. Ancient divine runes danced around them as their souls gradually solidified, transforming from ethereal forms into independent entities. But this transformation was terrifying. Their souls became entirely separate from their physical bodies, severing any connection between the two. In essence, they were dead completely and irreversibly. Their intelligence was wiped clean, their eyes grew increasingly vacant, and once healed, they became soulless puppets with Tao Lord-level power. As for their physical bodies, now devoid of souls, they remained in the real world, awaiting new consciousness to form. While Tao Lord-level bodies wouldn't decay, any new consciousness would no longer be their original selves and might not even develop complete souls, resulting in highly unusual entities. Witnessing this grim spectacle as soon as he boarded the boat, Lin Moyu felt bitter and uneasy. He refrained from acting rashly or deploying skeletal generals, fearful that his actions might trigger hidden formations aboard the boat and lead to his demise without understanding why. For now, he remained unharmed. The danger had yet to manifest fully. Watching as the 8 Dao Lords were stripped of their minds and turned into soulless puppets, Lin Moyu saw them simultaneously turn and walk toward the front of the boat. Surveying his surroundings carefully, he found himself at the stern of the crossing calamity boat. 1,000 meters away stood a colossal palace towering 10,000 meters high. The 8 Dao Lords entered the palace and disappeared from view. Lin Moyu stayed still. The earlier scene served as a stark warning against reckless movement. In such a place, caution was paramount. From his vantage point, he could observe external conditions beyond the boat. At this moment, the crossing calamity boat entered a great spirit domain surrounded by chaotic mist. Standing aboard, it was impossible to perceive its speed, but Lin Moyu had already witnessed its astonishing velocity earlier. Suddenly, a figure appeared in his line of sight. Ahead of the crossing calamity boat loomed a giant, a manifestation of a world will from one of the domain's worlds. This world will was immensely powerful, nearing the final stages of its formative phase and approaching full formation. Upon this giant stood another formidable figure, a realm master. Though diminutive compared to the colossal world will, the realm master's aura surpassed even that of his world will.
A realm master!
Lin Moyu deduced immediately, a powerful realm master commanding his world will to block the crossing calamity boat. This realm master was far stronger than the hell master but weaker than would slaughter realm master by comparison.
Can he stop the crossing calamity boat?
Lin Moyu wondered briefly before answering himself. No, he couldn't. While he could gauge the realm master's strength, the boat's mysterious nature remained beyond comprehension. He suspected that not only would this realm master fail, but he might also suffer collateral damage alongside Lin Moyu. As the boat approached, the world will transformed into a massive beast and charged directly at it. Boom! Upon collision, the crossing calamity boat remained unscathed while the beast shattered instantly. However, as an incorporeal entity, the world will quickly reformed itself. The realm master waved his hand, summoning an enormous formation supported by nearly 100 Dao Lords with himself as its core. The beast merged into this formation, which roared to life, emitting an overwhelming aura that shook billions of miles of soul void.
An entire world's power.
Lin Moyu murmured in awe. The formation's strength exceeded even that of his 5 elements giant. With 100 Dao Lords, a formative stage world will, and a realm master at its center, all backed by an entire world, it was undeniably formidable. The realm master drew a massive blade, a treasure comparable to those wielded by small spirit domain kings, though inferior to emperors' innate primordial treasures. Its blade radiated immense power as it slashed toward the crossing calamity boat. This strike harnessed an entire world's energy, tearing countless rifts across soul void, pushing its limits to breaking point. But upon striking, the crossing calamity boat emitted gentle light that effortlessly dissolved the seemingly unstoppable blade energy. Unmoving, the boat seemed impervious, as if tofu had collided with stone. No matter how strong the tofu couldn't break through. Lin Moyu wasn't surprised. It felt inevitable given what he'd seen. So far, the boat's strength defied understanding entirely. Even Sword Dao Spirit had been forcibly pulled back earlier, a testament to its terrifying power. Since boarding, Lin Moyu hadn't dared move an inch. Frustrated, the realm master roared angrily while continuing to operate his formation, but before he could act further, the crossing calamity boat unleashed blinding light. This light expanded rapidly, encompassing billions of miles of soul void. Wherever it passed, all motion ceased, including that of formations, Dao Lords, world wills, and even entire worlds themselves. Time within this region came to a complete halt. Having mastered time, Great Dao himself, Lin Moyu understood how terrifying such an ability was. While he could pause time within small areas, it required avoiding overly powerful opponents, and scaling up demanded exponentially greater effort. Yet here the crossing calamity boat froze an immense region, including a realm master, a formative stage world will, and countless Dao Lords and souls. Such power left Lin Moyu deeply unsettled. But what happened next truly revealed how incomprehensibly terrifying this entity was.
What exactly is this thing?
Lin Moyu muttered in disbelief. Chapter 3779, The Murals, Fighting Spirit, and the Scepter. A terrifying transformation unfolded before Lin Moyu's eyes. Accompanied by gentle light, countless fearsome creatures emerged in the void. Dragons, tigers, lions, cranes. These beings were merely projections, yet their actions were catastrophic, capable of destroying worlds. The dragon alone shattered half the formation with a single bite, devouring a corner of the world along with it. Time froze, space solidified, and the entire world was locked in place. The projected tiger followed suit, biting off another corner of the world and further wrecking the formation. An octopus extended its 8 massive tentacles to wrap around the remaining formation, crushing it completely. Even a seemingly harmless rabbit leaped forward, rapidly expanding in size, and devoured the realm master within moments. These projections were identical to the carvings Lin Moyu had seen on the hull of the crossing Calamity boat earlier. What had once seemed lifelike carvings now proved to be truly alive. An entire intact world crumbled before Lin Moyu's eyes. The Realm Master and Tao Lords who had stood proudly moments ago were now dead. Their world will dissipated along with the destruction of their world. As the crossing Calamity boat passed by, this world was left utterly broken, heading toward inevitable death. Lin Moyu suddenly recalled a dead world he had once refined. He hadn't understood why that world had perished before, but now he knew. It had been destroyed by the crossing Calamity boat. A vast and complete world was reduced to ruin in less than 10 minutes, a shocking revelation that only those present could truly grasp. As the boat continued onward, Lin Moyu couldn't help but mutter,
"What exactly is this thing?"
1,000 meters away, the palace aboard the boat lit up its base, revealing an open portal. Lin Moyu realized this was a signal from the boat, a summons for him to enter. However, the 8 Tao Lords who had been turned into soulless puppets earlier had also entered through this portal. If given a choice, Lin Moyu would have preferred to leave immediately, but now he had no other option and reluctantly moved forward. He had noticed something peculiar. Despite the boat's evident danger, he hadn't encountered any harm since boarding. This set him apart from others. With no alternatives, Lin Moyu resolved to proceed cautiously, step by step. Approaching the palace with vigilance, he covered the 1,000-meter distance at a slow pace, observing his surroundings carefully. The deck of the boat was empty and eerily silent. Nothing seemed out of place. The crossing Calamity boat sailed through soul void without any apparent destination or purpose. When he reached within 500 meters of the palace, a gentle light illuminated its surroundings. Though soft, the light made Lin Moyu uncomfortable. It was similar to what had frozen space and destroyed worlds earlier. Facing such unknowns naturally unsettled him, not out of fear but unease toward unpredictability. Suddenly, a sound reached his ears, and turning around, he saw numerous figures where there had previously been none. These were soul bodies, all cleaning the deck meticulously. Each one was a Tao Lord. In any other setting they would command awe, but aboard this boat they were reduced to mere laborers. Their vacant eyes reflected their lack of consciousness. They were nothing but soulless puppets now. As Lin Moyu approached closer to the palace, the peculiar nature of its light became apparent. His soul felt lighter, as though becoming purer. Even though his cultivation level remained unchanged, the essence of his soul improved slightly. For Lin Moyu, this enhancement meant far more than any cultivation breakthrough. It was invaluable progress in soul refinement. His treatment aboard this boat seemed markedly different from others, a fact that continued to puzzle him deeply. Arriving at the palace's entrance, a massive door hundreds of meters tall stood open wide. Beyond it, a grand staircase bathed in gentle light ascended toward an unseen destination above. Without hesitation, Lin Moyu stepped onto the staircase and began climbing steadily upward. At this point, hesitation served no purpose. It was time to act decisively. Upon stepping onto the staircase, the scene around him transformed dramatically. The palace vanished from view, replaced by towering walls on either side stretching endlessly upward like the stairs themselves. These walls were intricate murals depicting vivid scenes filled with people, objects, and landscapes, all seemingly alive. As Lin Moyu gazed at these murals, they began moving as if telling stories through their motion. Whispers filled his ears as if narrating tales.
"I fought across realms and unified worlds, but fell here. I refuse to accept defeat. I'll reincarnate and fight again. What is a supreme ruler? I fear nothing. I'll fight them head on." My loved ones are gone, I have no attachments left, I'll fight. What are heaven and earth? What is the great Tao? As cultivators we defy them all, we seek only ourselves.
Each mural conveyed overwhelming fighting spirit, as if waves crashing into Lin Moyu's mind. These were depictions of once proud warriors who defied heaven and earth unwavering even in death. Their indomitable will inspired Lin Moyu deeply, even filling him with renewed determination. Compared to these warriors, the Tao Lords seemed insignificant, and even figures like Hell Master paled in comparison. Feeling their fighting spirit, Lin Moyu realized his own challenges weren't insurmountable. With careful planning, they could be overcome. He grew increasingly curious about this boat. Why did it bear murals depicting such powerful figures? Lin Moyu didn't believe these murals were fabricated. Their fighting spirit couldn't be faked. Each spirit was unique and undeniably genuine. It couldn't have been forged artificially. Continuing upward, the murals expanded beyond depictions of defiance against heaven and earth to include other elements. They revealed terrifying spiritual beasts roaming skies or sinking into abyssal depths. These beasts wielded immense power, as if favored by heaven itself, and traversed realms freely. Countless people worshipped them as gods, but eventually they encountered stronger opponents who slew them for resources like flesh or blood. Over time, their numbers dwindled until they vanished entirely. These murals narrated an ancient history of how cultivators rose from weakness to strength, challenging fate, and ultimately standing tall against heaven itself. Unknowingly, Lin Moyu reached the end of the staircase. By now, the spiritual beasts had been wiped out, and a human cultivator stood atop their corpses wielding an unparalleled scepter with pride. Lin Moyu's eyes narrowed sharply upon seeing this scepter.
The Catastrophic Scepter.
Chapter 3780. The Fifth Gem. The path up the staircase felt like a journey through the rise of humanity. The humans depicted in the murals were vastly different from the ones Lin Moyu had come to know. The history portrayed in the murals was ancient, so ancient that it seemed impossible to trace its origins. But history, after all, was just history, events that had already passed and were no longer of immediate importance. What truly mattered now was the present and the final image in the mural. The Catastrophic Scepter. This time, it was the genuine Catastrophic Scepter, not a replica fabricated by the Hellmaster. The human figure standing atop countless spirit beast corpses, towering above all others, held the true Catastrophic Scepter in his hand. On this scepter, 5 gems were intact. Buzz! With a resonant hum, the walls on both sides of the staircase vanished, revealing a palace ahead. Lin Moyu realized he had unknowingly reached the end of the staircase. Before him lay a vast plaza. In the distance, faint light mixed with mist hinted at structures hidden within. This was clearly part of a palace. Seeing buildings here wasn't surprising to Lin Moyu. His gaze fell upon a colossal statue standing at the center of the plaza. The plaza was immense and empty save for this 1,000-meter-tall statue that towered over everything. The statue wore distinctly human attire and stood with its back to Lin Moyu, exuding an aura of solitary pride. Lin Moyu felt a sense of loneliness emanating from it, as if this figure stood alone against all under heaven. What truly caught his attention was the material of the statue. It was crafted entirely from innate primordial material. Even a fist-sized piece of such material was incredibly valuable. How much must have been used for this 1,000-meter-tall statue? Calling it extravagant would be an understatement. Instinctively, Lin Moyu glanced down at his left hand. The undying flame still burned brightly, but the sentient material he held showed no signs of melting. Sentient materials were far more resistant to refinement than ordinary ones. Comparing this small piece in his hand to the massive statue before him, the difference was staggering.
If I brought this statue's material to discernment beast, it might even choke on it.
Lin Moyu mused humorously as he moved closer to examine the statue's face. He wondered who could have erected such a monument in a place as terrifying as the crossing calamity boat. Whoever it was might surpass even figures like the human sovereign or world tree emperor. As he approached within several hundred meters, a formless barrier blocked his path.
You are not qualified to see him.
A deep and resonant voice echoed from all directions, its source indiscernible.
The master has finally appeared.
Lin Moyu muttered without surprise. He had expected someone to control the crossing calamity boat, and this voice likely belonged to its master. Lin Moyu asked politely,
May I ask why Senior brought me here? What instructions do you have for me? I have no instructions, I just wanted to see you.
Replied the voice.
Just see me?
Lin Moyu froze momentarily, baffled by such an answer. Was he hearing things? Bringing him here just to observe him? Suppressing his disbelief, Lin Moyu maintained composure.
And what does Senior think now that you've seen me? Not bad.
Came the indifferent reply. Lin Moyu sighed inwardly at this casual evaluation.
If Senior has seen enough, may I leave now? Take out your scepter, I want to see it.
Commanded the voice. Resigned, Lin Moyu retrieved his catastrophic scepter without hesitation. He had already seen an image of it in the murals, and now that this mysterious figure had directly mentioned it, there was no point in hiding it further. As soon as he revealed the scepter, the statue began glowing faintly, and atop its head a gem appeared.
The catastrophic scepter's gem.
Lin Moyu exclaimed in surprise. He hadn't expected to find another gem here. Since acquiring 3 gems earlier, he had found no trace of a 4th one until now. And yet here lay another gem, the 5th one. Previously, he had obtained gems representing soul, elemental, and balance attributes, but what attribute did this new gem hold? Suspended atop the statue, the gem showed no intention of moving toward him, and Lin Moyu couldn't approach due to the invisible barrier blocking his way. Still, the fact that this figure had revealed its existence suggested an intent to give it to him eventually. Otherwise, there would have been no need for such theatrics. Lin Moyu asked cautiously,
What must I do for Senior to grant me this gem? This is the 5th gem of the catastrophic scepter.
Explained the voice.
Once you find the 4th gem, I will give you this one. Is there a specific order for acquiring these gems?
Lin Moyu wondered silently, but didn't voice his doubts aloud, instead asking,
Does Senior know where I might find the 4th gem? You'll have to find it yourself.
Replied the voice curtly, offering no further guidance or clues. Whether out of ignorance or unwillingness, it left Lin Moyu with no choice but to search on his own. By now it was clear that whoever controlled this boat bore him no ill will, as they claimed. They merely wanted to observe him. Lin Moyu asked,
If I locate the 4th gem, how should I return here? Figure it out yourself.
Came another cold response, a clear dismissal of any further questions or assistance. Though frustrated, Lin Moyu took solace in knowing where one more gem lay, even if retrieving it would take time and effort. As he waited for permission to leave, Lin Moyu studied the statue closely. It radiated an indescribable aura, suggesting its creator was extraordinary. Perhaps even responsible for crafting both this statue and the crossing calamity boat itself. Moments later, the distant mist brightened slightly as some dispersed, revealing an exquisite palace ahead. Narrowing his eyes slightly, Lin Moyu recognized it immediately.
I've seen that palace before.
It was identical to one he encountered while merging 10 small spirit domains, a palace whose corner had exploded violently back then. Surveying carefully, he spotted damage on one corner matching what he remembered exactly.
So it really is that palace.
Lin Moyu confirmed inwardly.
Could innate virtual treasures and this boat be connected? And might Emperor's primordial materials also relate somehow?
As these thoughts swirled within him, the soft light around him intensified briefly before fading entirely. When his vision cleared, the crossing calamity boat had vanished into Soul Void's depths once more. Lin Moyu found himself back outside in an unfamiliar Great Spirit domain. Reflecting on everything he'd witnessed aboard, that ancient history etched into murals filled him with awe, but also strengthened his Tao heart with newfound resolve. Releasing Little Python from storage, he slapped it awake while scanning their surroundings cautiously. For now, all he knew was that they were somewhere new and figuring out where would be his next challenge. Chapter 3781. Blame It on Fate. Lin Moyu slapped Little Python awake.
Time to wake up.
Little Python groggily opened its eyes, mumbling,
Master, what happened? Why did I fall asleep?
It was utterly confused, having no idea what had transpired. Lin Moyu replied,
Nothing much. Go find a virtual beast and ask where we are.
Though virtual beasts were generally unintelligent, it was possible to find a few with some degree of wisdom enough to figure out their current location. If that didn't work, Lin Moyu would have to rely on the connection between his soul and physical body to determine the direction and navigate accordingly. Little Python nodded and immediately set off in search of a virtual beast. The chaotic mist within the spirit domain was dense, severely limiting the range of Undead Eye. Lin Moyu could barely see far ahead. He sensed that this spirit domain was ancient and primitive. After entering the crossing calamity boat, time had become distorted. He wasn't sure how long he had spent inside. It might have been only a couple of days for him, but years could have passed outside. Given the boat's speed, even 1 or 2 years would have been enough to traverse several great spirit domains. Following behind Little Python at a distance, Lin Moyu noticed that the undying flame on his left hand was still burning. The sentient material he carried had finally begun to melt slightly.
It's really slow progress,
he muttered. This was just the beginning. It would take much more time to fully refine the material and summon an elemental lich. Still, success seemed within reach this time, though he wondered what kind of elemental lich would emerge from this process. Given the quality of the sentient material, it was unlikely to disappoint. Moreover, the material seemed connected to space, raising questions about which great Tao it might replicate. Suddenly, energy fluctuations rippled through the chaotic mist. A battle lasting only 2 or 3 seconds had already ended. Lin Moyu knew what had happened. Little Python had failed to extract information and simply devoured its target. Such behavior was typical among virtual beasts. They often consumed one another as a means of evolution, but this method was cumbersome and rarely chosen unless necessary. Little Python continued searching while Lin Moyu followed leisurely behind. After interrogating several virtual beasts, Little Python finally returned excitedly.
Master, I found out. This is Redstone Great Spirit Domain. Redstone Great Spirit Domain. Isn't that part of the Outsider Alliance's territory?
Lin Moyu asked with a frown. Little Python confirmed.
Yes, it is. Trouble.
Lin Moyu muttered grimly.
It seems not much time has passed. The crossing calamity boat didn't travel far.
He recalled Shi Haifeng mentioning Redstone Great Spirit Domain, a domain controlled by the Outsider Alliance. Of course, the domain was vast, and the Outsider Alliance couldn't occupy every corner of it. Additionally, human forces existed within Redstone Great Spirit Domain as well, and conflicts between them and the Outsider Alliance were ongoing. The main issue lay in the Outsider Alliance's deployment of numerous virtual treasures throughout their territory, each capable of monitoring large areas. If these treasures detected human cultivators, they would immediately issue warnings, summoning powerful outsider reinforcements. Worse still, these treasures were well hidden within chaotic mist, making them difficult to locate. Compounding matters, Lin Moyu had no idea whether he was in a human-controlled area or an outsider-controlled one, or which direction to head next, all of which posed significant challenges. Though weaker than humanity in domains like World Tree Great Spirit Domain, the Outsider Alliance had grown resilient under constant suppression, proving they possessed formidable strength. Even the human sovereign hadn't taken direct action against them for reasons unknown. Shi Haifeng speculated that it might be because the Outsider Alliance operated outside World Tree Great Spirit Domain, and figures like the human sovereign couldn't easily enter other emperors' territories without causing conflict. Lin Moyu understood this reasoning. No emperor would welcome another of equal standing trespassing into their domain, let alone engaging in large-scale battles or indiscriminate killing. Redstone Great Spirit Domain belonged to Redstone Emperor, and relations among emperors were far from harmonious. While entering Redstone Great Spirit Domain wasn't ideal, the silver lining was its proximity to World Tree Great Spirit Domain, with only one vacuum zone separating them.
Not having a map is such a hassle,
Lin Moyu grumbled. Navigating Soul Void without maps made things unnecessarily complicated. If only there were something like World Tree's Spirit Domain compass here, but unfortunately that tool didn't work in this domain. Little Python asked.
Master, which way should we go?
Lin Moyu considered briefly before replying.
Let's find a world first and ask for directions.
Wandering aimlessly wasn't an option. Drawing a world-seeking rune, he set it loose to locate the nearest world. The rune floated slowly through the mist, following traces of great Tao energy as its guide. Little Python complained.
Why is it moving so slowly?
Lin Moyu explained.
The great Tao energy here is too dense.
The denser and more chaotic the energy, the slower the rune moved, as it needed time to parse through its surroundings. From its sluggish pace, it was clear that Redstone Great Spirit Domain's Great Tao energy density far exceeded that of Golden Furnace Great Spirit Domain. Curious, Little Python asked,
Why is there such a big difference between domains? Back in World Tree it was already slower than Golden Furnace, but here it's even worse.
Lin Moyu speculated.
Maybe this place is closer to Soul Void's center.
While Little Python didn't fully understand, Lin Moyu believed all great Daos originated from a central point, and proximity to this origin likely influenced energy density. Redstone's higher density suggested its closeness to Soul Void's core, whereas Golden Furnace lay farther away. If true, it also meant resources like materials and primordial treasures would be more abundant near Soul Void's center, and so would great Tao beasts. After several days, the world-seeking rune finally approached a world guarded by a Tao Lord stationed outside its barrier. Spotting him from afar, Lin Moyu felt relieved upon recognizing him as human, not an outsider alliance member. The Tao Lord noticed Lin Moyu as well, but remained cautious despite identifying him as human, a testament to his vigilance. Stopping 10,000 kilometers away, Lin Moyu transmitted telepathically.
Greetings, fellow Tao friend.
Suddenly, the Tao Lord's expression changed drastically as he shouted,
Watch out!
A glowing sword pierced through Lin Moyu's soul before exploding, violently shattering his soul entirely. Even Little Python wasn't spared. From within the void, a sinister laugh echoed.
A lone cultivator at great Tao level? Blame it on your fate.
An outsider Tao Lord emerged slowly, a sword trailing radiant light returning to his hand. The human Tao Lord guarding the world sighed regretfully, as if lamenting Lin Moyu's demise. But then a cold voice rang out sharply.
What kind of fate do you think I deserve?
Chapter 3782. Perhaps it's a blessing. Lin Moyu's cold voice contrasted sharply with the sneering laughter of the outsider Tao Lord. The souls of Lin Moyu and Little Python, which had seemingly been shattered moments ago, reappeared intact in the void, showing no signs of injury.
An illusion? Or an afterimage?
The outsider Tao Lord's eyes betrayed disbelief. He couldn't accept that his sneak attack had failed.
Be careful. He's a Tao Lord of the Shadow Great Tao. His sword contains divine light Great Tao energy and specializes in ambushes.
Relieved to see Lin Moyu unharmed, the human Tao Lord seemed genuinely pleased as he issued his warning. Lin Moyu turned his gaze toward his attacker.
Tell me, what kind of fate do you think I deserve?
Time flowed chaotically around Lin Moyu and Little Python, enveloping them in its distortion. During the moment of the sneak attack, time surrounding Lin Moyu and Little Python had abruptly slowed. The sword light, nearing Lin Moyu, was affected by the time Great Tao slowing down several times over. This allowed Lin Moyu to evade the strike with ease. However, to an outside observer, it appeared as though his soul had been pierced and shattered by the sword light. In reality, what they saw was merely an afterimage created by time distortion. The outsider Tao Lord spoke calmly.
So you managed to dodge, lucky for you. But your luck won't last forever.
As he spoke, his figure began to fade into obscurity. Mastering the Shadow Great Tao granted him unparalleled concealment abilities, whether in Soul Void or the real world. Lin Moyu shook his head.
That won't work.
With a flick of his finger, world-burning fire erupted outward, exploding into a sea of flames. A scream echoed through the fire as the outsider Tao Lord was forcibly revealed from hiding. Desperately channeling his great Tao energy, he attempted to extinguish the flames, but world-burning fire was not so easily subdued. Until he escaped its grasp, concealment was impossible. Though unlikely to kill him, the flames inflicted excruciating pain, gnawing at his soul like a torment worse than death. Glaring at Lin Moyu with hatred, the outsider Tao Lord suddenly transformed into a streak of light and fled into the distance. Little Python cried out.
Master! He's running away!
Lin Moyu nodded calmly.
Let him go, it doesn't matter. He'll be back.
He made no effort to pursue, knowing that chasing down a determined Tao Lord would be difficult. Besides, it wasn't necessary. This enemy would undoubtedly return for revenge. As Lin Moyu extinguished the flames and turned toward the human Tao Lord, he said nothing but stared silently. The human Tao Lord seemed slightly embarrassed.
Greetings, fellow Tao friend. I am bound to guard this place and cannot leave. I ask for your understanding.
Lin Moyu didn't blame him, understanding his predicament.
It's fine, you've got your own challenges.
Though he claimed not to mind, his tone lacked its initial cordiality. The human Tao Lord smiled bitterly.
Indeed, it's not easy here. May I ask how you detected something amiss earlier?
Lin Moyu replied.
With so many outsider virtual treasures scattered around, it was obvious there'd be someone lurking nearby. But what's your purpose in guarding this place?
Looking around, Lin Moyu noticed numerous outsider virtual treasures surrounding this world. It was essentially encircled. Under such circumstances, what was the point of one Tao Lord standing guard outside? The human Tao Lord sighed helplessly.
This is our world. It holds billions of lives. Whether it makes sense or not, we have to protect it. Besides, even if the Outsider Alliance wants to kill us, they'll have to pay a price.
Lin Moyu understood his reasoning.
So your plan is that if their realm masters or Tao Lords invade, you'll detonate your world's origin core and take them down with you.
The human Tao Lord looked surprised.
You figured that out?
Indeed, Lin Moyu had deduced it from observing the formations within this world. While these formations didn't appear particularly advanced, they were interconnected like a network of ticking bombs. If triggered, they would destroy the entire world, obliterating everything within it. This setup wasn't limited to Soul Void, it extended into reality as well. Such a scorched earth tactic offered no benefit to the Outsider Alliance, which is why they hadn't acted recklessly so far. Normally a world wouldn't agree to self-destruction, but somehow this one had been coerced into compliance. Still, that wasn't Lin Moyu's concern, though he couldn't help but respect their resolve. Breaking his silence, Lin Moyu introduced himself.
I am Lin Moyu, and you are?
The human Tao Lord bowed slightly.
I am Wang Yan.
Lin Moyu nodded.
Tao friend Wang Yan, have you considered alternatives? This approach isn't sustainable.
Wang Yan sighed heavily.
Of course we've considered alternatives, but it's too difficult. We've heard that in World Tree Great Spirit Domain, a human sovereign can crush the Outsider Alliance effortlessly.
Lin Moyu explained.
That would be the human sovereign, a true body Tao Lord who has entered returning origin land, a peerless powerhouse.
Wang Yan's eyes gleamed with envy.
If only we had someone like that in our domain. But alas, we don't, and saving ourselves seems impossible. To be honest, we tried once before even forming our world, but it was shattered and its essence dissipated.
Now Lin Moyu understood why this world had agreed to self-destruction. It bore grudges against its enemies in the Outsider Alliance. Wang Yan continued wistfully.
If only the human sovereign could come here.
Shaking his head, Lin Moyu replied.
The human sovereign likely knows about Redstone Great Spirit Domain, but entering would require Emperor approval, which won't happen. In reality, there are no emperors blocking him, but crossing realms between Soul Void and reality makes finding your world nearly impossible, even if he wanted to help.
Wang Yan grew increasingly despondent. Their situation seemed hopeless under constant threat from the Outsider Alliance. Observing Wang Yan closely, Lin Moyu asked thoughtfully.
Your world used to be led by its world will, is that correct?
Wang Yan nodded affirmatively.
Yes, that's right.
Their world had once formed but was shattered and reverted into slumbering essence. Lin Moyu remarked.
In some ways that might actually be a blessing for you.
Puzzled, Wang Yan asked.
How so?
It was clear he didn't fully understand what a fully formed world might do. Explaining briefly about malicious wills, Lin Moyu elaborated further.
In World Tree Great Spirit Domain, the human sovereign developed a secret method allowing Tao Lords to seize control over worlds, transforming their wills into tools. If you're willing, I can try obtaining this method for you.
Chapter 3783, Finding Some Help. As Lin Moyu and Wang Yan analyzed the pros and cons, Wang Yan's expression gradually changed, with the light in his eyes growing brighter. For a Dao Lord, this was an enormous temptation. When Dao Lords find themselves at a dead end, they become desperate. Lin Moyu's appearance brought them hope. At this moment, Lin Moyu was Wang Yan's lifeline, not only able to free him from the Outsider Alliance's threat, but also allow him to advance further. Lin Moyu saw desire and intense longing in Wang Yan's expression. Everyone has selfish motives, even the kindest people. It's just that kind people will weigh their options and be willing to sacrifice some of their own interests to help others. But when something benefits oneself without harming others, even the kindest person will prioritize their own interests. If they didn't seize such an opportunity and instead gave it to someone else, that wouldn't be kindness, it would be foolishness. How could Wang Yan possibly do such a foolish thing? At the same time, he understood that Lin Moyu wouldn't help him for nothing. He promised Lin Moyu,
Dao friend Lin, I'll trouble you with this then. If this succeeds, Wang Yan will remember this great kindness. Whatever Dao friend Lin asks, Wang Yan will not refuse.
After all, their situation couldn't get any worse. Since that was the case, why not take a gamble? Lin Moyu smiled and said,
Dao friend Wang need not be so polite. Just wait here patiently for my news.
Lin Moyu bid farewell to Wang Yan. He didn't approach Wang Yan's world or disturb the virtual treasures placed by the Outsider Alliance. Before he returned, there was no need to alert the Outsider Alliance and cause trouble. He dove into the mist, heading towards World Tree Great Spirit Domain. Though Wang Yan didn't know World Tree Great Spirit Domain's exact location, he knew which way to go to leave Redstone Great Spirit Domain. After inquiring several times and sensing the connection to his physical body, Lin Moyu finally determined the direction. Little Python was confused.
Master, why are you helping them?
Lin Moyu joked.
We're all part of the human race. If we can help, we should. Consider it a good deed.
Little Python clearly didn't believe this. The Lin Moyu he knew wasn't like that at all. Lin Moyu laughed and said,
Actually, it's simple. I need to find some helpers.
Little Python asked curiously,
Will they really help?
Lin Moyu replied,
They'll have to, whether they want to or not. I have my ways. And judging by Redstone Great Spirit Domain's situation, they don't have much choice.
Lin Moyu wasn't just looking for Wang Yan alone, nor was it just his world. In Redstone Great Spirit Domain, there were quite a few human worlds and even more Dao Lords, but they were all threatened by the Outsider Alliance and weren't doing well. If he could help them out of their predicament and give them a path forward, they would naturally be at his disposal. Moreover, Lin Moyu would set some restrictions. They wouldn't have the option to disobey. Little Python asked,
Master, if you need helpers, why not find them in World Tree Great Spirit Domain? There are so many Dao Lords there. As long as you have soul pearls, they should all be willing to help.
Lin Moyu shook his head.
The Dao Lords in World Tree Great Spirit Domain are all the human sovereign's people. The human sovereign has grand ambitions. I don't want to get involved with him. You should have noticed that both World Tree Great Spirit Domain and Redstone Great Spirit Domain are very ancient, and they both have a certain order, unlike Golden Furnace Great Spirit Domain. I even suspect that the Outsider Alliance might be connected to the human sovereign.
Things were too complex. Little Python couldn't understand at all. Lin Moyu didn't explain further. He had his own ideas. When one's strength reaches a certain level, like the green-robed old man or the being inside the crossing calamity boat, they can ignore numbers and dominate with their individual power alone. But Lin Moyu wasn't at that level yet. Even if he could reach it in the future, he needed to take the most important step first. Before that, numbers still mattered, especially external forces. Lin Moyu didn't know how many powerful beings from the previous two eras the Origin Continent's world will had left behind, but there must be quite a few. Moreover, this era also had numerous Dao Lords. The more prepared his side was, the better. He couldn't rely entirely on the third ancestor and others. He needed to make his own preparations. So when Lin Moyu met Wang Yan and learned of his situation, this idea occurred to him. Of course, people like Wang Yan wouldn't be acting in Soul Void. Lin Moyu needed them to work with him in the real world. Lin Moyu had thought about many things, and a rough plan was gradually taking shape. Suddenly, the time Great Tao flowed, and time in Lin Moyu's area slowed down, becoming 10 times slower than normal. He saw a glowing sword shooting towards him. As it entered the area affected by the time Great Tao, its speed abruptly slowed. Lin Moyu casually avoided it. From the outside, this movement left multiple afterimages, which were then shattered by the sword light, making it appear as if Lin Moyu himself had been torn apart. This situation was exactly the same as before. Activating Undead Eye, he saw a soul flame. This soul flame was shrouded in darkness, with a black Great Tao like a cloak wrapping around the soul flame. It was that outsider Tao Lord from before, launching another sneak attack on Lin Moyu. Unfortunately, he had no idea that Lin Moyu had already left a mark on him. So Lin Moyu knew exactly where he was. Lin Moyu sensed his precise location and locked his gaze on him, with a hint of mockery.
Wasn't the lesson from last time enough? You're still coming to seek death?
A figure slowly emerged from the darkness. This Tao Lord, who controlled the Shadow Great Tao and came from the Outsider Alliance, looked at Lin Moyu with cold eyes.
Last time was just carelessness. Today you will die.
Lin Moyu said.
Actually, I'm very curious. We humans and you outsiders share the same roots. Why must we be enemies? As far as I know, although humans don't acknowledge you, they haven't thought about persecuting you either.
The outsider Tao Lord snorted coldly.
What do you know? We outsiders and you humans are sworn enemies. This deep grudge can't be fully explained.
Lin Moyu said.
You were originally in World Tree Great Spirit Domain, then you left on your own. Moving so many worlds away is no small matter. If the human sovereign hadn't allowed it, how could you have moved away? Just based on this one thing, you owe the human sovereign and the human race.
The outsider Tao Lord suddenly spat.
That's why I say you know nothing. Back then, we were able to leave World Tree Great Spirit Domain smoothly not because the human sovereign was kind-hearted, but because the World Tree Emperor let us go. What do you think the human sovereign is? Would he be so kind as to let us leave? Dream on. Although we outsiders don't have a supreme being like the human sovereign, we are constantly growing stronger. Sooner or later, we will suppress you humans.
He spoke as if complaining about the human race's wrongdoings. At this moment, Lin Moyu found him somewhat endearing. At the same time, he was surprised to learn that their smooth departure from World Tree Great Spirit Domain back then was actually with the World Tree Emperor's help. But why would the World Tree Emperor help them? Wasn't the World Tree Emperor closely associated with the human sovereign? The two had worked together on many things, and World Tree Great Spirit Domain's development to its current state was impossible without both of them. But now it seemed that these two might not be completely aligned. Lin Moyu waved his hand and said,
Forget it, I'm not from World Tree Great Spirit Domain either. This matter doesn't concern me. You can go, I won't kill you.
3784, 3784. Chapter 3784. Modifying the formation. Lin Moyu's tone and actions appeared casual, almost indifferent. To the outsider Tao Lord, however, it felt like Lin Moyu didn't take him seriously at all. The Tao Lord felt humiliated after all. He was a Tao Lord, while Lin Moyu was merely a second-tier soul great Tao cultivator. Shouldn't someone of Lin Moyu's level be groveling before him, begging for mercy? Why did it feel like the roles were reversed, as if Lin Moyu was sparing him instead? Fury surged within the outsider Tao Lord as he roared.
You're courting death.
His figure vanished instantly, reappearing in front of Lin Moyu with lightning speed. He unleashed a flurry of sword strikes. The void trembled as millions of light swords materialized from his divine light great Tao-infused blade, shooting toward Lin Moyu from all directions. Unperturbed, Lin Moyu activated his Void Fusion Divine Rune. The 5 elements giant appeared in the void. With a single punch, The giant unleashed terrifying power that shattered every light sword in its path. The outsider Tao Lord shrieked and merged back into the shadows. Flames erupted as world-burning fire transformed into a raging sea of fire. The outsider Tao Lord screamed again as he was forced out of hiding by the fire. The five elements giant locked onto him and struck with another punch. Dragging the flames behind him, the outsider Tao Lord narrowly evaded the attack. The punch landed in the void instead, unleashing devastating force that created countless cracks in space and caused waves of fire to surge violently. The outsider Tao Lord was sent flying amidst his cries of pain. Still engulfed in flames, he fled once more, leaving behind a long trail of fire in the void. Little Python remarked.
Master, he ran away again.
Lin Moyu chuckled.
He's quite good at running.
Curious, Little Python asked.
Master, are you deliberately letting him go because you think he's useful?
Lin Moyu replied.
More or less, he's useful for pointing out directions and bringing others along.
The direction in which the outsider Tao Lord fled likely led to the Outsider Alliance's territory. According to Wang Yen, human-controlled small spirit domains within Redstone Great Spirit Domain were almost entirely surrounded by those controlled by the Outsider Alliance. To leave Redstone Great Spirit Domain, one would inevitably pass through areas controlled by the Outsider Alliance. These domains contained layers of worlds whose locations were unknown to Lin Moyu. Wandering aimlessly could lead to trouble. Unlike the crossing Calamity Boat, which could charge through recklessly, Lin Moyu had to proceed cautiously. While he wasn't afraid of Tao Lords, encountering powerful realm masters or fully formed world wills would be problematic. Aware of his limitations, Lin Moyu knew he couldn't confront strong realm masters directly. Even against second-rate realm masters like the Hell Master, it would take everything he had to prevail. Thus, he needed an appropriate route, and this overly cautious outsider Tao Lord would provide it. Lin Moyu anticipated that the next attack wouldn't come from just one person. The Tao Lord would surely return with reinforcements which aligned perfectly with his plan. Flying steadily along the escape route, the undying flame on Lin Moyu's left hand continued burning without pause as the sentient material melted slowly. At its current pace, it would take another 10 days or so to fully melt and complete the summoning process. Crossing out of one small spirit domain and through a narrow vacuum zone, Lin Moyu observed Redstone Great Spirit Domain's peculiar structure. Despite being ancient, its small spirit domains were vast while its vacuum zones were relatively small. The proximity between domains was unusual, and their vacuum zones were far more stable compared to those in Golden Furnace Great Spirit Domain. To Lin Moyu, this phenomenon seemed unnatural. Given how dense and chaotic Great Tao energy was here, it should have caused more intense conflicts, but there was none, as if an invisible force had smoothed things out within these vacuum zones. In Redstone Great Spirit Domain, the only entity capable of such control was Redstone Emperor. After careful observation, Lin Moyu confirmed his suspicion. A powerful yet hidden force existed within these vacuum zones. Moreover, this force appeared to be moving small spirit domains closer together, shrinking the vacuum zones between them. This process had likely been ongoing for countless years, and if it continued for several million more, all small spirit domains within Redstone Great Spirit Domain might eventually merge into one unified domain. While Lin Moyu couldn't determine whether this strategy was beneficial or detrimental, he remained puzzled about why Redstone Emperor pursued such a goal. Reflecting on other emperors' actions, Lin Moyu noted their apparent independence. World Tree Emperor collaborated with Human Sovereign on certain projects. Redstone Emperor focused on merging domains. Golden Furnace Emperor remained secluded in closed-door cultivation, and other emperors likely pursued their own agendas as well.
At their level, they don't seem interested in transcendence, but what exactly are they trying to achieve?
Lin Moyu murmured thoughtfully, feeling that something larger might be unfolding beyond his current understanding. Several days passed as Lin Moyu traversed two more small spirit domains without encountering further resistance from the outsider Tao Lord. Meanwhile, the undying flame continued melting his sentient material, which was now nearly fully refined. Luck seemed to favor him during this journey, as he avoided any encounters with worlds controlled by the Outsider Alliance. At this rate, crossing two more domains might bring him out of Redstone Great Spirit Domain and into an open vacuum region beyond. Little Python asked,
Master, do you think that guy is too scared to come back?
Maintaining his awareness of the Tao Lord's position, Lin Moyu replied confidently.
Scared? He's a Tao Lord, he's waiting for us just ahead.
Little Python responded curiously.
How does he know our route?
Lin Moyu explained.
There are many virtual treasures along this path, they're monitoring us.
Though hidden well, all these treasures were visible to Lin Moyu, but he chose not to disturb them. Little Python hadn't noticed these concealed treasures, which interconnected to form a massive surveillance formation covering much of Redstone Great Spirit Domain. This formation wasn't particularly strong, but its vast range and stealth made it effective for monitoring purposes. Even if parts were damaged, the overall system would remain operational, a testament to its design. Having observed its structure closely during his journey, Lin Moyu began formulating plans for modification. Upon sensing the outsider Tao Lord's exact position, he stopped 10 million kilometers away and released numerous divine runes. These runes integrated seamlessly with virtual treasures within the formation, turning it into an extension of Lin Moyu's perception. Through this modified formation, he gained complete control over nearby conditions. Chapter 3785. Everyone values their lives. The formation was under Lin Moyu's control, and he could see everything happening tens of thousands of kilometers away. There were 4 Tao Lords present, no realm masters among them, not particularly formidable. Lin Moyu muttered to himself.
Only 4 of them? They're quite confident, aren't they?
Little Python chuckled.
They're doomed.
Initially, Lin Moyu had considered taking control of the entire formation. If he controlled the entire formation, he could monitor most of Redstone Great Spirit Domain, making it easy to navigate wherever he wanted. However, doing so would alert the formation's overseers to his presence, potentially attracting an unknown number of powerful enemies. To avoid unnecessary trouble, Lin Moyu decided to control only a portion of the formation and use it to deal with these Tao Lords. By interrogating them, he could extract the information he needed. His earlier brief exchange with the outsider Tao Lord who had ambushed him suggested that communication with this group was possible. Regardless of their attitude, as long as they could talk, it was enough. The 4 Tao Lords had hidden themselves within the same patch of chaotic mist, believing their concealment to be flawless. They weren't far apart from each other. This arrangement worked perfectly for Lin Moyu's plan. A void fusion divine rune flew silently through the chaotic mist, its small size making it difficult to detect. It traveled tens of thousands of kilometers before descending into the mist where the 4 outsider Tao Lords were hiding. The chaotic mist obscured their vision as well, so by the time they noticed the rune, it was already close.
What's that? Looks like a human divine rune. Why would a rune fly over here? Where did it come from? Who cares? It's just a tiny rune, what can it do? Shadow, where's that human you mentioned? Why hasn't he shown up yet? Yeah, what if he doesn't come at all? He'll come, he should be here soon.
The 4 Tao Lords dismissed the small rune with disdain. At that moment, the rune emitted a faint glow before exploding like a miniature firework. Instantly, the 1,000 paths and myriad images formation descended upon them. The 4 Tao Lords had no time to react and were swallowed by the formation. Within moments, various illusions manifested around them as countless attacks rained down, leaving the Tao Lords disoriented and unsure how to respond. They struggled desperately to break free but found themselves merely transitioning from one illusionary zone to another. The 1,000 paths and myriad images formation contained thousands of illusionary zones interconnected like a labyrinth, making escape impossible. Many Tao Lords had previously experienced firsthand how formidable this formation could be. As they floundered, a spark ignited beneath them, world-burning fire erupted into roaring flames that directly targeted their souls, causing unbearable pain. Lin Moyu's projection appeared before Shadow, the outsider Tao Lord who had ambushed him earlier.
Greetings, Senior. Greetings. My foot.
Shadow cursed angrily.
You little brat, you're playing dirty.
Lin Moyu smirked.
Weren't you the one who started playing dirty?
Shadow roared.
I cultivate the Shadow Great Tao, it's natural for me to ambush people. What's your excuse?
Lin Moyu shook his head.
I like using formations. It's only natural for me to set traps. Enough with the nonsense. Do you want to live or not?
Shadow initially wanted to retort with bravado, but his courage faltered under Lin Moyu's cold gaze. He couldn't bring himself to say anything defiant. Lin Moyu continued.
I'll ask you a few questions. If your answers satisfy me, I'll let you go. Of course, I'll verify your answers with the others. If you lie, you'll die. And I won't let you die quickly. You'll burn for tens of thousands of years before I end it.
Shadow shuddered at Lin Moyu's words, his soul trembling slightly, but he still tried to maintain some dignity as a Dao Lord.
It depends on what you ask. There are things I'd rather die than tell you.
Lin Moyu wasn't fooled. He already knew Shadow's character from their previous encounters. This man valued his life above all else.
I have 3 questions for you.
Lin Moyu began coldly.
First, how do I get to World Tree Great Spirit Domain from here? Second, are there any realm masters guarding the way? Third, how can I safely leave Redstone Great Spirit Domain? Think carefully before answering and don't lie or you won't get another chance.
Shadow stared at Lin Moyu in disbelief before blurting out.
That's it.
Lin Moyu snapped.
One more word of nonsense, and I'll burn you alive.
Panicking, Shadow quickly said.
All right. All right. I have a spirit domain compass. I'll give it to you.
He tossed out a spirit domain compass which flew out of the formation and landed in Lin Moyu's hands. Examining it briefly, Lin Moyu noted its similarities to those used in World Tree Great Spirit Domain, but also spotted key differences. World Tree's compasses were based on its namesake tree, which spanned the entire domain. Without World Tree, the compasses wouldn't function. In contrast, this compass relied on Redstone Great Spirit Domain's surveillance formation for its data. While less precise, it was still usable. Shadow explained.
With this compass, you'll know where to go. And what about realm masters? How can you guarantee there aren't any guarding the way?
Lin Moyu pressed further.
Realm masters don't bother with such matters. They have their own agendas.
Shadow replied confidently.
What agendas?
Lin Moyu asked sharply.
I don't know. That's their business, not ours.
Shadow admitted honestly.
We just focus on completing our assignments. And what are your assignments?
Lin Moyu demanded.
My task is assassinating lone human cultivators within certain small spirit domains to prevent them from escaping.
Shadow revealed reluctantly.
Other Dao Lords are tasked with hunting great Dao beasts or human Dao Lords in vacuum zones.
After questioning Shadow extensively, Lin Moyu turned his attention to the other 3 Dao Lords, asking them similar questions but dividing them among different individuals. Despite their status as Dao Lords, all 4 proved highly self-preserving and ultimately corroborated each other's accounts without discrepancies. By cross-referencing their answers, Lin Moyu confirmed their honesty and gained additional spirit domain compasses, bringing his total to 4. Using these compasses, he charted a route that would allow him to leave Redstone Great Spirit Domain within 10 days and enter an open vacuum zone en route to World Tree Great Spirit Domain. As for how to handle these 4 captives, Lin Moyu had promised not to kill them, and he intended to keep his word. He quickly constructed a simplified version of his 1,000 Paths and Myriad Images formation. While functional, it was significantly weaker and inherently unstable, destined to collapse after some time. Forcing all 4 Dao Lords to seal their cultivation levels, he threw them into this weakened formation before turning away without hesitation. Little Python asked curiously,
Master, you're really not going to kill them?
After all, Shadow had ambushed Lin Moyu twice already, and in Little Python's eyes that warranted death. Lin Moyu explained calmly.
I can't kill them, not yet. Although they claimed realm masters rarely intervene, it isn't absolute. I sensed traces of realm master imprints on them earlier. If I kill them, the realm masters will undoubtedly come after me.
2 days later, as they continued their journey, Lin Moyu suddenly changed direction with an expression growing increasingly serious. Sensing his unease, Little Python asked nervously,
Master, is something wrong?
Lin Moyu replied gravely,
Redstone Great Spirit Domain feels strange. We need to leave as soon as possible.
Chapter 3786. Redstone Emperor. Little Python accelerated its pace while Lin Moyu followed the Spirit Domain compass, choosing the shortest route to leave Redstone Great Spirit Domain. His priority was no longer finding the closest path to World Tree Great Spirit Domain. He simply wanted to get away from Redstone Great Spirit Domain as quickly as possible. Initially, entering Redstone Great Spirit Domain didn't feel unusual even after his conversation with Wang Yen. However, upon noticing the gradual convergence of small spirit domains and sensing the power of Redstone Emperor, Lin Moyu began to feel uneasy. At first, this unease wasn't significant, just a faint sense that something was amiss. Looking back now, it was clear that this feeling had been an early warning of danger. It felt as though someone was using a special method to observe him. Lin Moyu suspected that this surveillance came from Redstone Emperor, only such a figure could achieve it. Uncertain whether Redstone Emperor was friend or foe, Lin Moyu decided that leaving was the safest option. If he ever returned, it would be with extreme caution. Little Python flew faster and faster, bringing them closer to the edge of Redstone Great Spirit Domain. Lin Moyu monitored the Spirit Domain compass, calculating their progress. By altering their route, the original 10-day journey had been reduced to 6 days. Having already traveled for over 5 days, they were now less than half a day away from exiting Redstone Great Spirit Domain. Yet, the sense of unease within Lin Moyu grew stronger with each passing moment. Suddenly, all unease vanished like receding tides, and his soul issued an urgent warning.
Danger! Danger!
A deafening alarm reverberated within his soul, signaling imminent peril.
Stop!
Lin Moyu shouted, but it was too late. Boom! Little Python collided with an invisible wall, its massive body sent flying by an overwhelming force. Reacting swiftly, Lin Moyu had already distanced himself before Little Python hit the wall, avoiding harm himself. Looking ahead, he saw a colossal stone. The stone was fiery red like flames, with intricate carvings on its surface exuding a terrifying aura. Standing atop the stone was a figure shrouded in red light, its appearance obscured. Yet Lin Moyu felt unmistakably that this figure was watching him.
Innate primordial treasure. Redstone Emperor.
Lin Moyu instantly recognized the stone as an innate primordial treasure and concluded that its owner must be none other than Redstone Emperor. He sensed space solidifying around him as invisible forces converged from all directions, transforming millions of miles into a cage-like prison. Regardless of Redstone Emperor's intentions, Lin Moyu maintained composure and bowed slightly.
Lin Moyu of the human race greets Redstone Emperor.
From within the red light emitted by the innate primordial treasure, a raspy voice resembling grinding stones echoed.
What did you see aboard the crossing calamity boat?
Lin Moyu's heart skipped a beat. He hadn't expected Redstone Emperor to confront him about the crossing calamity boat.
Could it be he's interested in the boat?
With doubts swirling in his mind, Lin Moyu replied cautiously.
I saw many Dao Lords and even some realm masters aboard.
The red light flickered slightly before the raspy voice asked again.
What were they doing? They had their intelligence wiped clean and were turned into crew members performing various tasks aboard the boat.
Lin Moyu answered truthfully. He chose not to conceal this information, knowing full well who he was dealing with. Deception would only work if executed flawlessly. Otherwise, it would be exposed easily. Redstone Emperor fell silent as though lost in thought. The innate primordial treasure continued radiating crimson light, distorting space around it, and causing Redstone Emperor's figure to appear warped within its glow. Though humanoid in shape, it was clear this wasn't his true form, it was merely what he wanted Lin Moyu to see. Something about Redstone Emperor seemed off, but Lin Moyu couldn't pinpoint what it was. Using Undead Eye discreetly for a quick scan, Lin Moyu noticed something startling. Redstone Emperor's soul flame showed signs of damage, and even his innate primordial treasure bore an irregular crack as if struck violently. It became clear to Lin Moyu that Redstone Emperor had attempted to confront the crossing calamity boat, but failed, sustaining injuries in the process. Despite being wounded, the fact that he survived such an encounter demonstrated his immense strength. Previously, a realm master had been effortlessly killed by the boat, but Redstone Emperor managed to escape with only injuries. Such power meant killing Lin Moyu would be trivial for him. After a moment of silence, Redstone Emperor spoke again.
Aside from those people, what else did you see?
Though his voice remained raspy, it carried a softer tone compared to earlier. Lin Moyu couldn't understand why Redstone Emperor's attitude had shifted, but he answered cautiously.
I didn't see much else, just some murals and a statue. However, I couldn't view the statue's front side. The boat's occupant stopped me, saying I wasn't qualified.
Boom! The red light surged upward as Redstone Emperor reacted excitedly.
Someone spoke to you aboard the crossing Calamity boat?
Lin Moyu nodded.
Yes, but I didn't see them, I only heard their voice. What did their voice sound like?
Redstone Emperor pressed urgently.
It was deep and commanding with an indescribable sense of authority, clearly someone accustomed to high status.
Lin Moyu replied thoughtfully. Redstone Emperor grew increasingly agitated.
What did they say to you?
Feigning hesitation for effect, Lin Moyu eventually replied.
They asked me to complete a task and return to find them afterward.
The crimson light intensified as millions of miles around them transformed into a massive red sphere enveloped by glowing energy. Redstone Emperor's distorted figure reflected his barely contained excitement.
What task did they assign you?
He demanded with strained urgency in his voice.
They made me swear not to tell anyone.
Lin Moyu liet smoothly.
They didn't even specify how I'd find them afterward. They said I'd have to figure it out myself.
This fabrication blended just enough truth with falsehood, and in his heightened emotional state, Redstone Emperor didn't notice any inconsistencies. After another prolonged silence, Redstone Emperor asked,
When will you complete this task? I don't know.
Lin Moyu admitted honestly.
It's incredibly difficult. It might take thousands, or even tens of thousands of years, and if I die along the way, it'll never be completed.
Indeed, the search for the fourth gem remained uncertain, as treasures like those on Catastrophic Scepter transcended ordinary great Daos and relied entirely on fate. With crimson light shimmering brightly around him, Redstone Emperor's tone softened further.
Dao friend Lin, I have something I'd like your help with here as well.
Chapter 3787. The Emperor's Promise. From the moment Redstone Emperor appeared, his tone was commanding, befitting a superior addressing an inferior. As an emperor in Soul Void, his status was supreme, and such a tone was understandable to Lin Moyu. However, after confirming that Lin Moyu had boarded the crossing Calamity boat and returned safely, his tone softened noticeably. When Lin Moyu mentioned hearing a voice aboard the boat, Redstone Emperor's attitude improved, further shifting from condescension to equality. Finally, when Lin Moyu spoke of the possibility of returning to the crossing Calamity boat, Redstone Emperor's demeanor underwent a third transformation. This time, he had a request. These three shifts in attitude all stemmed from the existence aboard the crossing Calamity boat. Lin Moyu asked,
What does your majesty require?
If fostering a good relationship with Redstone Emperor could benefit his plans, Lin Moyu saw no reason to dwell on the Emperor's initial attitude. Redstone Emperor replied,
If you plan to board the crossing Calamity boat again in the future, I ask that you first visit Redstone Great Spirit Domain. At that time, I will explain what I need from you. If you agree to this request, I will grant you a promise to help you with one task of your choosing.
A favor in exchange for an emperor's promise. This seemed like a worthwhile deal. Redstone Emperor added,
Rest assured, what I ask of you will be simple and effortless. I would never make things difficult for you.
Lowering his demands further emphasized how much he hoped Lin Moyu would agree. Lin Moyu responded cautiously,
But I'm not certain I'll be able to board the crossing Calamity boat again. It's not an easy feat, and there's no guarantee of timing.
Redstone Emperor reassured him.
Time is not an issue. Even if you never board the boat again, my promise remains valid.
Hearing this, Lin Moyu realized refusal wasn't an option. The more earnest Redstone Emperor's request, the more it revealed his desperation. Refusing might provoke him.
Very well.
Lin Moyu said,
I accept. Once I've completed my current task, I'll seek your majesty out.
The red light surrounding Redstone Emperor pulsed brightly, his mood visibly improving as Lin Moyu agreed.
Thank you, Dao friend,
he said warmly, seizing the moment while Redstone Emperor was in good spirits. Lin Moyu asked,
I have a few questions I'd like to ask your majesty. Go ahead.
Redstone Emperor replied, his attitude shifting once more to one of camaraderie. Lin Moyu began.
If there were a world will at the peak of its formative stage, how would your majesty fare against it?
Redstone Emperor answered confidently.
In terms of pure strength, even an eternal stage world will is no match for me. However, the worlds within spirit domains exist between reality and illusion. As an Emperor of Soul Void, I am bound by its rules. I cannot personally destroy worlds or kill their wills outright. If I were to act, it would be limited to containment without harm. The true strength of world wills lies in reality, a realm beyond my influence.
Lin Moyu pressed further.
If such a world will try to escape, could your majesty stop it?
Redstone Emperor shook his head.
I could delay it briefly, but if it truly wished to leave, I couldn't prevent it. And what about cultivators like us who enter Soul Void?
Lin Moyu asked.
That's different.
Redstone Emperor said bluntly.
You can be killed at will.
Lin Moyu now understood that emperors weren't incapable of defeating world wills, even those at the eternal stage couldn't rival them within Soul Void. However, the rules governing Soul Void prohibited emperors from directly attacking or killing world wills. Violating these rules would result in severe consequences. In essence, the true rulers of Soul Void were its rules themselves. But who had established these rules? Even emperors were subject to them, and they offered no protection for cultivators. Once inside Soul Void, cultivators were as vulnerable as virtual beasts subject to emperors' whims. This realization clarified why Discernment Beast had suggested using emperors to contain, not kill world wills during critical moments. Emperors simply couldn't kill them outright. The rules ensured that worlds could evolve and develop without interference. Blurting out instinctively, Lin Moyu asked,
Who set these rules?
Redstone Emperor shook his head.
That cannot be spoken of. If you ever reach my level, you'll understand. Still, the fact that you boarded the Crossing Calamity boat and returned safely speaks volumes about your potential.
It was clear Redstone Emperor held Lin Moyu in high regard, a sentiment rooted entirely in his connection to the boat. Curious about something else, Lin Moyu asked,
How did your majesty know I entered the Crossing Calamity boat? When I boarded, I hadn't yet entered Redstone Great Spirit domain.
Redstone Emperor chuckled lightly.
I didn't see you board, but I sensed your aura aboard the boat.
In truth, Redstone Emperor hadn't been certain until Lin Moyu confirmed it through his responses, a subtle manipulation on his part.
Well played.
Lin Moyu thought silently. With nothing more to discuss, Lin Moyu said,
If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave and head toward World Tree Great Spirit domain.
Redstone Emperor asked casually,
You're not from World Tree Great Spirit domain, you're going there for its trading market? Yes.
Lin Moyu admitted openly.
I need some rare materials and hope to find them there.
Redstone Emperor's gaze lingered on Lin Moyu's left hand before producing a small innate primordial treasure, a fist-sized piece of material that floated toward him. Though small, it was still valuable, and Lin Moyu knew how rare such treasures were even for emperors. Due to their inability to search virtual illusory realms directly, emperors relied on chance encounters with treasures entering their domains naturally.
This treasure is yours.
Redstone Emperor said, but added sternly.
Do not refine soul pearls.
Startled, Lin Moyu asked.
Why not?
Redstone Emperor shook his head cryptically.
Some things cannot be spoken of, but soul pearls are toxic. Avoid refining or using them.
Clearly constrained from revealing more details, Redstone Emperor left it at that.
I'll remember your majesty's warning.
Lin Moyu replied respectfully, but couldn't resist asking another question.
How did your majesty know I wasn't from World Tree Great Spirit domain? Because you lack his mark.
Redstone Emperor said enigmatically.
That's all I can say for now. It would do more harm than good for you to know too much. In World Tree Great Spirit Domain, avoid provoking the human sovereign or World Tree Emperor, and be wary of certain realm masters. Keep a low profile there. Buy what you need and leave quickly without lingering.
Chapter 3788. Getting Annoyed. As the red light dissipated, Redstone Emperor departed, and Little Python flew back from afar. Earlier, it had been forcibly driven away by Redstone Emperor, who didn't allow it to approach. If not for Lin Moyu's presence, a second-tier soul virtual beast like Little Python might have been killed with a single slap by Redstone Emperor. To emperors, virtual beasts were insignificant creatures that could be killed at will. They held no rights or protection. Little Python was clever enough to stay far away when ordered, waiting patiently in the distance. Upon returning, Little Python asked softly,
Master, has Redstone Emperor left?
Lin Moyu nodded.
Do you have any thoughts about him?
Little Python shook its head quickly.
No thoughts, none at all.
Lin Moyu replied,
Good. Let's stick to the original route and leave Redstone Great Spirit Domain as quickly as possible.
He didn't share his conversation with Redstone Emperor with Little Python. It wasn't necessary for it to know. The less it knew, the safer it would be. Little Python understood its limits and refrained from asking further questions despite its curiosity. Reflecting on his exchange with Redstone Emperor, Lin Moyu thought about soul pearls. He felt fortunate that he hadn't refined them earlier, avoiding potential harm. Soul pearls being described as
poisonous
was clearly an indication of their unusual nature. The trading market established by Human Sovereign and World Tree Emperor involved releasing large quantities of soul pearls, surely with ulterior motives. Half a day later, Lin Moyu and Little Python finally exited Redstone Great Spirit Domain, entering the vast vacuum zone beyond. Both let out a sigh of relief simultaneously. Little Python remarked,
We're finally out. I don't know why, but I always felt stifled in Redstone Great Spirit Domain.
Lin Moyu chuckled.
You actually noticed the pressure?
Little Python explained.
I don't fully understand, but I could feel something uncomfortable.
Lin Moyu clarified.
That wasn't just discomfort, it was genuine pressure. Redstone Emperor is merging small spirit domains, creating invisible forces that converge toward the center of the domain. That's what caused your feeling of oppression.
Little Python shook its head.
I don't know why he's doing that.
Lin Moyu teased.
Want me to send you back to ask him directly?
Terrified, Little Python shook its head frantically.
No need, I'd rather live longer.
Glancing at the undying flame in his left hand, Lin Moyu saw that the sentient material burning within it was finally about to melt completely.
Let's move forward a bit. We need space for the upcoming Great Tao Tribulation,
he said. Little Python obeyed, flying swiftly away from Redstone Great Spirit Domain. As the sentient material fully melted, it reassembled within the undying flame, and soul void began rippling like ocean waves. Lin Moyu smiled knowingly.
It really is connected to space.
The sentient material had formed a virtual illusory realm resembling an egg-shaped spatial labyrinth, which Lin Moyu had suspected was related to Space Great Tao. Now his theory was confirmed. As spatial distortions intensified, large cracks began appearing and energy from reality surged through them. Tribulation clouds descended suddenly as an invisible force swept across soul void, restoring calm instantly. Thunder roared, and before the elemental lich could fully form, a terrifying power descended, absorbing it into the dimensional rift. This power was irresistible, and Lin Moyu felt insignificant before it, a true manifestation of Great Tao strength. A fissure appeared in soul void, and those familiar eyes returned. They glanced at Lin Moyu briefly, their gaze tinged with annoyance. Lin Moyu understood they were irritated by him and warning him simultaneously. Summoning reverse heaven-level elemental liches repeatedly had triggered tribulations over and over, forcing this entity to intervene constantly without rest. Apologizing with a smile, Lin Moyu signaled Little Python to retreat further to ensure safety during what promised to be an unusually intense tribulation. The elemental lich hadn't fully formed before being drawn into the tribulation clouds, which churned violently with lightning snakes and thunderclaps. The entire space flickered with thunderous light as bolts struck relentlessly at the incomplete elemental lich within. Watching nervously, even Lin Moyu couldn't help but worry for its survival. Suddenly, Little Python exclaimed,
"Master! Look!"
Lin Moyu looked up to see a vague shadow emerging above the tribulation clouds. Though blurry, the shadow became clearer with each lightning strike. It resembled an oversized doll, and Lin Moyu gasped inwardly.
"It's the elemental lich. It's using the tribulation to temper itself."
Shivering slightly, Little Python muttered,
"What kind of monster is this?"
Lin Moyu smacked its head lightly.
"It's not a monster, it's my summoned lich."
Realizing its mistake, Little Python quickly corrected itself.
"Not a monster, it's your reverse heaven creation, a lich worthy of you."
Under relentless lightning strikes, the elemental lich's shadow projected across space, its massive doll-like form rapidly solidifying. Its semi-real body appeared crystalline, as if containing infinite dimensions within. Far from being destroyed, the lightning seemed to aid its completion. After lightning came fire. The tribulation flames engulfed the elemental lich, transforming its semi-real body into transparent, crystal-like perfection. Within this crystalline form, a faint trace of space Great Tao emerged, a fundamental difference from Lin Moyu's projected Tao understanding. While Lin Moyu grasped only projections, the elemental lich replicated space Great Tao itself, a distinction as vast as heaven and earth. Following fire came annihilation winds, which swept through Soul Void with destructive force. Sensing danger, Lin Moyu and Little Python retreated even further to avoid harm. Meanwhile, the elemental lich stood unmoved amidst these winds. Closer inspection revealed spatial cracks forming around it, which absorbed these winds entirely before releasing them harmlessly behind it. Witnessing annihilation winds previously during Thunder Tao Person's trials and later in Beast Abyss, Lin Moyu noted how much stronger they were now. As these winds reached their peak, they gradually weakened, and Lin Moyu felt uneasy again.
"Retreat further,"
he urged instinctively. Despite being millions of miles away from the elemental lich, he still sensed danger looming. He suspected annihilation winds weren't the final stage. Moments later, the winds subsided and the third tribulation phase concluded successfully. Suddenly, the sound of water echoed as endless streams emerged from within dark tribulation clouds. The fourth phase began, a water-based tribulation known as soul-corroding water. Recognizing this ominous liquid, immediately Lin Moyu whispered grimly,
"Soul-corroding water."
Created by combining soul, water, and cursed Daos, it was an extremely potent and malicious substance, once refined by 3 powerful cultivators working together. But here it wasn't artificially crafted, it emerged naturally through Tao evolution, making it far deadlier. Seeing this fourth phase unfold, any relief Lin Moyu had felt vanished entirely.